I picked for my history project the topic burial at sea. I picked this because I really didn't know a whole lot. I knew that people scattered ashes over the oceans and in different, parts of water for personal reasons or just because they wanted that. They had memories there. I did not realize that they were actually allowing caskets to be buried or to be sunk into the ocean to the forebed. I never ever pictured that there's probably caskets everywhere out in the water. But burial at sea is the act of disposing human remains into the ocean. It can be done by a boat or a plane. Planes are usually used for scattering remains over the water. If using a boat, remains can be scattered. They also can use decomposable urns and can be used for full casket burials are mostly often done with the boats. There are some requirements for sea burial. One being all human remains must be placed at least 3 miles from the shore. This is all remains, full body and scattering, have to be placed that far away. You must be at least 600 feet deep to place a casket into the ocean or an urn. Some states have further requirements requiring at least 1,800 feet deep for remains to be sunk to the bottom and placed. A general permit has to be received before you can perform any burial at sea. There are some notifications that need to be done that you have to report the burial at sea within 30 days of when you do it. You cannot use any hazard or toxic chemicals for preparation of the body if having a sea burial. So during embalming, I don't believe that you're able to use certain chemicals because they cause toxic production into the water for wildlife and even us as we're swimming or having any contact with the water. These guidelines are to mainly protect us. There are some prices that I've listed here that I found. A few of them regarding the burial at sea start at just ash shattering, and it can run about $975. A private ash scattering ceremony on a boat with at least 1 to 6 passengers run you about $1,850 to $2,450. If having at least 110 or more passengers, the 110 starts at about $4,800 and goes up to $7,950. A full standard body shroud starts about $1,875. From what I looked at, there was some memorial ones done for vets with the American flag and different things on it, and it costs a couple $100 more. But there is several options on that as well. A few things I read about the history at burial at sea was that the Viking days, kings and queens, warriors were sent out to the sea for sea burial. They believed sending them to the water was letting go of physical life and starting a spiritual rebirth. British Navy men started burial at sea for 2 reasons. The first being the convenience. Then finding the port for burial could be difficult, and they believed they would get bad luck not putting the bodies into the sea, and that the passengers would also get it that aborted the boats. Some historical figures. As I was reading, the most recent one was Robin Williams. He passed away from depression, I believe, suicide. I don't remember reading exactly, but it just said from depression, so I'm thinking that's what happened. Robin Williams' ashes were scattered in a private ceremony funeral near San Francisco Bay. H.G. Wells was an author who lived in the 1800s to 1900s. His ashes were scattered near southern England on some rocks. John Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr. was John F. Kennedy's son, and he was brought to sea by a Navy destroyer after dying in a plane crash. A few things I did find interesting was, no matter rich or poor, they have plenty of options for people, that do actually want ceremonies regarding either scattering of ashes or an actual funeral with the burial. It doesn't really matter if you're a wealthy person or not. I mean, there was some, for a few people, some about the same amount. I don't really think it's more expensive than an actual just regular burial. A few things that are not allowed. No remains should be placed closer than 3 miles to the shore, like I've already discussed earlier. No pet remains are allowed to be placed in the water. That means no pets at all, and no cremation of pets are allowed. There could be no plastic or metal is allowed. No flowers, wreaths, tombstones are to be used unless they are decomposable. If not using a casket for burial of human remains, they must be wrapped in a shroud or cloth, and a steel chain should be placed around to ensure the body sinks to the ocean bed. No monuments can be used due to the potential harm it can cause for navigation and fishing. I did read that a few monuments were decomposable and they actually put the ashes inside of them, but I don't think if there's certain types of material and regular that they can be sunk to the bottom. There are some casket requirements for burial at sea. One being, if using a casket, a minimum of 22-inch holes should be drilled throughout the entire casket, head to toe. That ensures that the casket will sink to the bottom of the sea. This is done to help with faster and more rapid sinking. Concrete and sandbags can be used for additional help to sink casket and make it go down faster. This does add extra weight and helps keep the casket on the ocean bed. Caskets should have at least 6 stainless steel bands or natural fiber ropes through the entire casket. I placed a picture here showing a shroud where there are actual zippers and placements for a full casket viewing. Casket shrouds are used for different types of funerals and are also used with no type of casket at all. Natural burial shroud is more environmental ways to bury a body. And I mean environmental friendly. I did see some of the shrouds were just like blankets that wrapped around for different types of burial that aren't just these right here this is an actual sea burial shroud. Natural burial shroud is more environmental way. It can be unzipped for an open casket. Viewing at sea and is weighed down by at least 165 pounds in cannonballs. I thought that was kind of crazy. Who can do burial at sea and where? Burial at sea may be done by professional boat or charter boats. Personal boat, that means anybody can scatter the ashes as long as they do follow these guidelines. These charter boats offer different services. If you want a funeral director or anybody out there on the boat with you to perform ceremonies for the body. Anybody can be buried at sea. There's no stipulation or guidelines to who can and can't. Scattering of human remains can be done in lakes, rivers, and any body of water, but you really should check and see what is allowed. They are not regulated, but some places have specific requirements regarding scattering of the remains. Doing some of this research, I did find this very interesting and actually probably one of my favorite ones I've done. Thank you.